I hate to be the bearer of bad news to everyone on here, but Beyonce wasn't all that great in this film. Sorry about that, Beehive. Hey, what is happening, everybody out there? My name is Jakejames Lugo, and welcome to the channel. Now, I just came out of the theater not too long ago from watching The Lion King in 2019. This is a remake of the classic Disney animated movie, which is iconic for a lot of people. I grew up watching The Lion King on VHS, and I know a lot of you guys out there have as well. A lot of people have very different opinions about this, either positive or negative. So going into this film, I wanted to block out all those different impressions, reviews, and stuff that I had heard about it, because I know I'm a little bit late to this film, but I wanted to at least judge the film on what it exactly presented to me, rather than just all the different opinions that were thrown all over the place. And unfortunately, the most disappointing aspect about this that I have to tell you guys is that the Lion King remake is a very mediocre film at best. Even though it looks visually impressive, it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's really cool seeing a lot of these characters and these environments, especially, the reinterpretation of like this African setting done in like a real life type of like, version, a real life, type of like rendition of it. That looks freaking cool. A lot of the real big like bummer about this entire film is the delivery of the dialogue and just the way that the story plays out. The crazy thing is that the dialogue and a lot of the scenes that are featured in this film are pulled directly from the Disney animated original, and that's pretty crazy to me. My biggest issue with The Lion King in 2019 is that a lot of the dialogue just doesn't have the same type of emotion and same level of delivery and the timing of what you saw in the original film. It's kind of missing here from this remake, and that's just shocking to me because the lines are exactly the same, but the way that the actors and the actresses, the way that they speak these lines just doesn't have that same level of oomph. And it's absolutely nuts because we have James Earl Jones once again back playing the voice of Mufasa, which is absolutely freaking awesome and complete epic win. But even him, as great as he is and as iconic as his voice is, he just doesn't have the same level of like oomph and majesticness as what he did in the original Disney animated film. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want to completely just dump on this film because not everything about the Lion King remake is completely terrible. There are some great things about this movie. A couple things I've noticed that certain scenes are kind of like added in, or at least, expanded upon from what was originally shown in the original Disney animated film, and that's actually kind of cool. There are a couple things that I wish were there, especially some of the stuff pulled from the Broadway show, including like a certain, I believe it's a scene between Scar and Sarabi, but still, I felt like what they had there as far as like expanding certain scenes was actually kind of cool. But getting back to the parts that I feel like the film was lacking on, it's just that the way that these characters talk now in this version of the story compared to the original, it just lacks that same level of emotion. All the different actors and actresses, while I do feel like they are great in their own right, just with this type of dialogue in this script, they just weren't bringing it to the table. The biggest one that I felt like was super disappointing, especially since I heard so many great things about her beforehand, was Beyoncé as older Nala. Even though I understand why Beyoncé was part of this cast for this story, I still feel like this really wasn't the part for her. Just all of her line delivery, I feel like, again, I'm listening to Beyoncé talk, I'm not really getting a lot of emotion, a lot of, like, what I'm supposed to be seeing play out in the different scenes I'm watching on screen, as opposed to just Beyoncé just saying the lines. And I feel the same way about the rest of the cast, especially Donald Glover. Don't get me wrong, he's going to catch some heat from this too. A lot of people have said the same thing about him, more so about him and the rest of the cast as opposed to Beyoncé. But I feel like the entire cast overall in this remake just has that same type of issue. It feels like they're just saying the lines rather than really trying to put in a whole bunch of emotion, a lot of like other little nuances with their voices to this dialogue. That's something that the original animated movie did very well, not just with their own voice cast. Again, there's very different cast here between these two movies, but I feel like just some of the ways that like certain lines were spoken, certain things were said, certain conversations that happened in different scenes was just handled in a much more better way compared to what's going on with this remake. Now, one other thing I do want to mention that I feel like this film really missed the mark on is that certain scenes that were iconic back in the original, they're either completely like changed up or again, they're just not done in the same type of fashion. They're not handled with the same level of care and attention to detail as opposed to what happened with the original film. The biggest offenders of this is one, Be Prepared, and also Can You Feel the Love Tonight. I feel like those are the two songs and the two scenes out of the entire movie that feel like they were just the ones that were done the most wrong compared to everything else. The voice actor for Scar, while I feel like he's doing his own version of the character and he's trying to make it in his own way, I think that's fine and dandy. However, his musical number, it feels like he gets completely robbed of that. I don't understand why they just didn't decide to actually do that full song and actually just reinterpret it in the same way like they did with other songs, including, I Can't Just Wait to Be King, was it Hakuna Matata, and some of the other iconic songs that are featured in this film. I was doing some reading beforehand, and I found out that a lot of what was going on, why that song was being changed, was because the original film had a little bit much more emphasis on Nazi imagery, and I get that. You know, Disney's trying to be a little bit safe with the way that they actually put out films and their products and stuff, but I feel like you could have made a whole bunch of creative, like, you know, changes and made that song still appear in the film in full and really kind of give something awesome to a lot of fans that love that song, rather than just like completely just half-ass it. It just felt like they were gonna go and lead up to something, and it just kind of cold cut it off. Like, it was just absolutely baffling, and I wasn't the only one that felt that in the theater. Everybody was just like super confused at what they just saw. But by far, the biggest disappointment when it comes to songs in this film is Can You Feel the Love Tonight? It's just, there's absolutely no excuse why this song, or at least this scene, is playing out in the daytime when the song literally says, Can you feel the love tonight? It's just absolutely baffling to me. I don't understand why somebody at Disney that was part of this creative team didn't speak up about this, because it's just so obvious. The song says, Can you feel the love tonight? But the sun is out. And granted, it's not as, like, you know, visually interesting, and it's not as, like, you know, romantic as the original animated film presented that whole scene out to be. And that's another thing I want to bring up about the Lion King remake. A lot of the stuff that was really visually interesting and really creative and really whimsical and wondrous and stuff about, like, certain songs and about certain scenes and events that happen in this story, the remake kind of really dilutes them, whether it's because they were really committing to the live action, like, you know, versions of these characters, trying to make these animals feel like they were in real life, which I get, but, like, again, all the visual stuff from I Can't Just Wait to Be King, just the awesome, like, romantic nature of Can You Feel the Love Tonight, the lack of Be Prepared, and, like, every other song out there just feels like it's very low-key and much more mellow and much more kind of, like, held back more than anything else. And finally, probably my most hated aspect about this remake, again, and it really sucks I have to say this because I really wanted to love this film, I really don't like the casting of Timon and Pumbaa. I really don't like the voice actors that they got for them. You know, I know that's, was it Seth Rogen was cast as Pumbaa and stuff, but, like, they just don't seem fun to me. I know they're supposed to be the comic relief and, like, they're supposed to be funny. I just wasn't really laughing. Even some of the sections, you know, that certain people were really laughing in my theater, like some of the jokes, again, very, like, crude, like, silly humor, I get it, but they came off more annoying than anything else. At least the original Timon and Pumbaa was a little bit more charming and funny, and, like, at least a little bit more witty for the time when that movie was released. But in this remake, it's kind of mellow, it's kind of meh. That's the best way I could describe them. It's just meh. And that's my overall emotion about this entire film. It just comes off as meh. Things feel super rushed, things feel like super by the numbers, just kind of just thrown out there rather than actually presented in a grand fashion, despite the visuals being fantastic. Even Rafiki, again, I know a lot of people have talked about this. Rafiki is supposed to be, like, one of the most charming characters in that original movie. It feels like, again, he's just kind of just thrown in here and just kind of meh. That's literally the best way I could describe it. It's just kind of meh. So overall, if you can't already tell, I'm not a huge fan of the Lion King remake. I really wanted to love this film. I really tried to block out everything else about it that was said about this film, and it's just that, again, from what I saw there, it's really not that great. I don't know if it's really even worth actually seeing it in theaters. You're probably better off, like, catching this on probably the Disney streaming service that's going to come later this year, or even catching it on Netflix or something. It's just, I don't know if it's really worth going to the theater for. I really wanted this to be special. I really wanted this to be awesome. I really wanted to see if maybe all the people that were criticizing it were wrong, and I just didn't get that, man. It was just a real damn shame. But let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. Tell me, did you see the Lion King remake already? Do you love the original film? Do you have certain criticisms or certain things that I didn't really mention about it in this review? Talk to me about it in the comment section down below. If you guys can't already tell, this is going to be a brand new series I'm posting up here on the YouTube channel from now on. I'm calling it JJ on Film, as you guys can tell by the title, but I'm not just going to be looking at newer movies that come out in theaters. I'll probably be checking out some older movies as well, some classics, maybe even take some suggestions from you guys, you know, in the comments and stuff that I should watch, and give my overall opinion about them. And I'm also thinking about looking at some anime series and TV series as well, you know, different type of, like, Netflix stuff or whatever, but stuff that I feel like, you know, we could talk about, we could have some fun watching and giving our opinions about it, you know, in the YouTube comments and stuff. But either way, post up your suggestions down below and let me know, what should I actually be watching? What should I actually review in this series? And of course, I have to mention to you guys, don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos just like this. Brand new videos like this are coming very soon. Check out my game reviews, my podcast shows. There's a whole bunch of stuff I know you guys are going to love here on the channel. And also, I am on Patreon. Don't forget, at the dollar level or higher, by joining my Patreon page, you're going to get a ton of exclusive content, including early access to videos, brand new exclusive podcasts, exclusive vlogs. There's a lot of content I know you guys are going to love. Let me know also if you guys want to see exclusive reviews over on my Patreon page, or if you guys want anything specific there that you guys want to see. Put it in the comment section down below. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I will talk to you guys again very soon. Peace out, and stay epic, everybody. Thanks for watching this video, everyone. Make sure you guys check out some of these other videos in the boxes after the credits, and don't forget to visit my Patreon page via the annotations for more exclusive content. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Peace out, and stay epic, everybody.